you know, this is a well worked, well used, well lived in snare drum. So I got this drum sort of tail end of 2019, and as you can see, it was upside down. It's a 14x8 brass free floater, and as far as I can tell, it's one of the original ones. So it's about sort of 30 odd years old. Certainly in terms of the physical appearance, whilst it probably looks quite shiny on the camera there, it's because there's a light there and a light there, and obviously it's reflecting, but you know, there's definitely you know, this is a well worked, well used, well lived in snare drum, and it probably still needs a bit of a clean from me actually, but yeah, never mind. I got this drum really because it came up and it was a good price, and it was one of those things. It's like, if it doesn't sound good or whatever, I can always move it on and really sort of not lose any money. But as I said, it's kind of very, you know, it turned up with like knackered heads and things and knackered wires, and so I mean I've changed the heads out. It's now got a CS dot on the top and obviously the old clear on the bottom there. But I don't know. I may put a PS3 coated on the top just to give it a little bit more depth and a bit more body. But I mean, for now, I think the CS dot kind of works okay, but maybe just to get a bit more body out of it. The snare mechanism, very straightforward. Probably wouldn't expect much more from a 30-year-old drum. It is parallel action though, so you've got the actual snare strainer there, but you've also got the facility to adjust there as well. It's a bit stiff at the moment, but actually I may have actually. I think I might have locked that down. But one thing with this, apart from the fact that that's slightly bent, which I did know about, is that with the free floating snare drums, certainly the older ones anyway, not so much the case I think with some of the newer ones. I've got 3 free floaters, and they're all kind of from different eras. The Tico Torres one has got a slightly different snare mechanism on it to the Crystal Beat, which I've got, which is the newest of the free floaters. This, as I said, this has got the parallel action on it, so the snare wires are actually slightly longer. I mean, they're branded as a 14, but they're for a 14-inch drum, but at the same time they're probably about 15 inches long. The edges of the wires are there, and I think similar with the Dynasonic snare drums, the snare mechanism actually, it lifts. Obviously it won't do it because it's gravity fed, but it kisses the head rather than on a normal snare drum is tightened down that way. So it's, I mean, it's quite sensitive. What I did do, I cleaned it up a little bit when I got it, and what wasn't mentioned, I think it was on I think it was one of these bits here. I mean, these have all got different screws in them now because you know, this isn't exactly this is always a player's drum, it's not a collector's. I don't care if it's got mismatched screws on it, but what someone had done is basically managed to completely fuse the old screw into the housing there, and it wouldn't come out, and I ended up coming in here about 10:30 one night with a drill. And I finally managed to drill it out, much to my surprise, because I didn't think it would actually work. But I managed to drill that out and replace it, so it actually works properly now, which is nice. I think the only other thing I've got to do with this is kind of just bend this little bit back. It turned up like that, but I don't really care. I mean, as I said, this is a player's drum, and you know, again, I think I've said in other videos, I kind of like the sort of semi-rustic look, or the used look, lived-in look. It kind of works for me. Sonically, you know, I'm only really going to do it at one. I'm only going to do it at one tensioning. You don't really need to hear a 14x8 cranked right up. I mean, I might do a sort of a low and a medium, but you don't really need to hear a 14x8 cranked up, because why would you do that? But anyway, Thanks for watching. This is what it looks like, this is what it sounds like, and I will see you in the next video. And I've put a, I've just put a drum tack on there, just to give it a little bit of dampening. See what that sounds like.